As the seasons progress, heroes in Miraculous Ladybug are getting more upgrades on their powers. The latest one belongs to Cat Noir. He activated Mega Cataclysm in the episode Revelator, and as the episodes continue, I'm sure that we will see more heroes updating their powers and becoming more powerful. So, let's start with the first one. 1. Carapace. Carapace's current power is Shelter. This ability allows him to create an energy barrier with a segmented hexagonal pattern, like a turtle shell. We first saw this in Season 2, Anansi. The barrier can be cast around himself, around others, or around large structures. The strength of Shelter is its versatility. Carapace can adjust its size, from small enough to protect only one body part to large surfaces. But of course, Shelter isn't flawless. Cataclysm can destroy it in a single touch, and teleportation powers can bypass it. Imagine if Carapace could not only trap enemies, but also neutralize their abilities inside the barrier. At the moment, a villain trapped in Shelter can still use their powers until they break out or are released. But what if the upgrade made the barrier suppress powers while active? This would completely change its function. Instead of just defense, it becomes the ultimate countermeasure. Monarch's Akumas, Cerise's manipulations, or even a powered-up villain would find themselves powerless once inside. It would be like turning Shelter into an anti-miraculous prison, a safe space where no ability could activate until the barrier is gone. This upgrade would also highlight Carapace's role in the superhero team. Maybe he even would become the team's key to disabling the biggest threats without needing to fight them directly.
You're gonna give us your miraculous!
You may have an army of akumatized warriors,
but we're a whole team of superheroes.
2. Rena Rouge. Rena Rouge's power is Mirage, the ability to create illusions using her flute. These illusions can be as small as a single person or as large as an amusement park, which we saw in the episode Sapotes. They can fool enemies by disguising allies, creating distractions, or even fabricating environments. Mirage has been used in countless clever ways, but unfortunately, they have one weakness. They vanish when touched, making them ineffective in direct combat. They rely entirely on the enemy being deceived. For a power so creative, this limitation sometimes reduces its long-term impact. What if Mirage illusions didn't disappear when touched? What if Rena could create illusions that looked and behaved real, even when interacted with? This sounds very interesting, right? Because it can make her powers terrifyingly effective. Enemies would no longer be able to test reality by brushing against an illusion. They would be forced to question everything they see, wasting valuable time and energy. A villain might strike what they think is Ladybug, only to realize they've been fighting an illusion the entire time, one that feels real and doesn't vanish on contact. An even greater upgrade would allow illusions to interact with each other. Imagine two illusionary figures fighting, creating a convincing battle scene that completely distracts enemies. This could be used to lure akumatized victims into wasting their strength, or to stage fake events that mislead villains entirely. With illusions indistinguishable from reality, Rena Rouge would turn into one of the most dangerous heroes on the team. She can actually control the battlefield. What do you think about that?
Wow, you're such a good storyteller, I can almost believe it.
3. Vesperia. Vesperia's current ability is Venom, the bee's sting. With a single touch, she can paralyze her target completely. Victims lose not just movement, but all senses. They can't see, hear, or even think clearly. We saw the best example in the episode Recreation when Marinette got immobilized by Gabriel. We can say that Venom is one of the most dangerous close-range powers. It works through clothing, magical suits, and even intangible forms like Style Queen's glitter body. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't have any weakness. It is the distance. Vesperia has to get close enough to touch her opponent, which puts her in danger. If her hands are restrained, or if the enemy expects her, she risks missing and getting caught herself. That actually opens the gate for the need of an upgrade. What if Vesperia could fire Venom as a projectile, sending energy shots from her weapon that paralyze targets at a distance? This would instantly transform her from a close-range specialist to a long-range threat. She could stop enemies before they even reached her, immobilize multiple villains by firing shots across the battlefield, or strike Akumas that hide behind barriers. She could even target disguised enemies, neutralizing them without needing to expose herself. We've already seen Cerise use powers that weaken heroes and strip them of their abilities. If a villain can project disabling powers, why not a hero? A ranged Venom upgrade would give the team a tool to fight back against enemies who overpower them with distance or speed. With one precise shot, she could paralyze an akumatized villain long enough for Ladybug to use Lucky Charm and purify them. If you ask me, this is one of the best upgrades among the list.
Thrilled to make your acquaintance, Vesperia. Just give me a second.
4. Ryuko. Ryuko's Miraculous grants her the power of the dragon, allowing her to call upon 3 elements: Wind Dragon, Water Dragon, and Lightning Dragon. With Wind Dragon, she becomes air itself. With Water Dragon, she unleashes floods. And with Lightning Dragon, she transforms into pure electricity. Each form is incredibly powerful, but limited to its basic element, because the range of effects is fairly narrow. And that means it also needs an upgrade. So what if Ryuko's powers could evolve into new elemental phases? Imagine Wind Dragon upgraded into the ability to summon massive tornadoes, or even hurricanes that reshape the fate of the battle. Water Dragon could evolve into Ice Dragon, freezing enemies solid, countering fire-based powers, or creating massive barriers of ice. Lightning Dragon could evolve into Storm Dragon, summoning thunderstorms that strike multiple enemies at once. Narratively, this upgrade also makes sense. Ryuko is one of the most disciplined and strategic fighters on the team. Therefore, she really deserves an expanded elemental phase.
You made a mistake, as I do every day, but that's not a reason to give up fighting. You're the only one who can help me.
5. Argos. I actually put the most interesting one to the last. The Peacock Miraculous is able to grant its user the power of amokization, which is the ability to create sentimonsters from human emotions. This is done with a magical feather, which is known as an amok. This power has been used in many ways throughout the series. The sad thing about this Miraculous is that creation lives and dies by one object. This is why I thought Argo needed to find a way to upgrade his powers. Just imagine if the Peacock Miraculous could divide a single feather into multiple objects, splitting the amok into pieces so the sentimonster is no longer tied to just one item. This would be one of the smartest and most dangerous upgrades of all. With the power divided, destroying the sentimonster becomes almost impossible. Instead of focusing on one amok object, enemies would have to find and destroy every single piece that carries a fragment of the feather's magic. If even one fragment survives, the sentimonster continues to live. In past battles, Ladybug and Cat Noir often won by targeting the amok and purifying it. But if that upgrade had applied, the strategy would no longer work. They would need to hunt down several objects, scattered, hidden, or even disguised. This division ability could also create more complex sentimonsters. For example, Argos could make a sentimonster composed of multiple independent parts, each powered by a different amok object. One fragment could power its body, another its wings, another its weapon. Destroying just one piece wouldn't end the creature. It would only disable a part of it, while the rest continues to fight. It would also allow sentimonsters to regenerate. If a hero manages to break one fragment, the sentimonster could draw strength from the remaining fragments and repair itself. This would make them resilient, nearly indestructible creations that could keep fighting no matter how much damage they take. And you guys, what do you think about the possible upgrades that we might see in the upcoming episodes of Miraculous Ladybug? Do you think seeing the powers evolved make the series even more interesting? Also, please let me know which one you think is the best among them. Of course, if you have any other theories, please feel free to comment. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like the video too. See you in the next one.